Sunday. You know what that means. Not that it's Sunday, but we got another day. We're blessed with another day. That means we have another opportunity to grow some more food. So, as the title of the video says, just keep sowing. And so that's what I'm here to do. And I saw someone said, first of all, I saw some posts where they were saying they didn't know what succession sowing meant and they would start stuff from seed, but they don't know how. It's too hard or whatever. So I wanted to jump on and just show my simple setup for how I grow food and hopefully make it simple enough that someone will be encouraged to sow some seeds, grow some food. It's not that hard, y'all. So first of all, succession sowing just means continuously sowing. That means you don't stop. So you sow something this week and then maybe next week you sow something else, or you sow the same thing, but you want your plants to be spaced out. So if I start some seeds a week ago, a week from now, or maybe 2 weeks from now, I'm going to drop that same seed so that when the first seed that I dropped in starts putting off or starts dying or whatever may happen, I have another plant right behind it to cover my ground, basically, to cover my bases. So I'm never without. So you're always dropping seeds, basically, or propagating or, cloning plants in some way so that you can increase or sustain your food operation, basically. So for me, I'm going to show you, I skipped hold on, let me flip the camera. I skipped the time consuming part. Basically, I didn't record that. I filled these trays already because y'all need to see that. It takes a while to fill every single one of these cells. So these are 72 cell trays from Bootstrap Farmer. I'm doing these in seed trays because this is for my spring sale that I'm doing. If you're in Georgia, make sure, let me flip this so y'all can see my face. The sincerity in my eyes. If you're in Georgia, make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter because I always drop really anything for my newsletter subscribers first before I make it public on, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Nextdoor, whatever. For other people, I always drop it first for my newsletter subscribers. So I'm going to be doing a spring sale where I'm selling some plant starts. So if you don't feel encouraged from this video to start your own plants from seeds, I'm going to be starting some for you and I'm happy to sell them. But obviously I have limited quantities, so they're going to come, first serve. Okay. Now the commercial's over. So these are 72 cell trays. I get these from Bootstrap Farmer. They are just flats. Both of these come from Bootstrap Farmer. It's not a commercial or in any way monetized, but I'm just telling y'all, so if you want to get it from them, that's where I get mine from. I'm going to sow a tray of calendula, which is an edible flower, and it's also used medicinally. And then I'm also going to sow some borage, which is another edible flower. And both of these are great for pollinators. Specifically, the borage I use for my tomato plants because it's a really, really heavy pollinator. It brings in a lot of pollinators, and it brings in the good pests that like to eat the tomato hornworms, which I hate because they're disgusting. So I be trying to sow anything that brings in something that will eat the tomato hornworms, and borage does that. So I'm going to be sowing, let me double check, I labeled these. Okay, so this is borage. This is my borage tray. I'm going to sow a tray of borage, which is going to be 72 plants. And then I'm going to sow a tray of calendula. And both of these are going to be for my plant sales because I've actually already sown borage and calendula previously, which is going to be for my farm. Oh, actually, real quick, I'm going to show you guys. I think I planted those borage and calendula and nasturtium for my farm. I think that was a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago. It's a rainy, cloudy day in Georgia, so there's like no sun shining. But you can see this is the borage that I sowed last week. It's already coming up. They've germinated. The calendula is coming up as well. But again, you want to keep sowing. This is the nasturtium coming up. And I did another cup of nasturtium yesterday. And then, like I said, I'm going to keep sowing. So those I'm going to put on the farm. Most of this cell tray is going to be for sale in my spring sale, but obviously if I need some more for my farm, I'm also going to use these that I'm sowing here in this cell tray. So I'm just going to show y'all. It's really easy. So for those who wonder, how do you plant seeds, right? So all I did was fill this cell tray with my seed starting mix. I don't buy seed starting mix. I start my own. And this is just coconut coir that was hydrated and then vermiculite. And then I just mix it up and then I stuff it inside these trays. That's it. Press it down a little bit so they're a little bit flattened so I can put my seeds in there. And then I'm just going to drop seeds. And I'm just going to show y'all real quick. It's really easy. I'm not going to do a whole video on sowing all 140 something of these cells. But I just wanted to show how easy it is for the person, I don't remember where I saw it, who said it's hard and they don't know how to do it. So, I just put seeds in my hand. These are borage seeds. Borage flower. It's the coolest thing. It's like a blue flower that has spikes and the pollinators love it. And like I said, it is also edible. So all you do, drop a seed. I try to get it in the center just because I'm anal and I like for my plant to come up in the middle just because there's not a lot of space in here. I don't multi-sow inside of these cell trays because my borage seeds are pretty fresh. So I have close to 100% germination rate on these. So I don't put multiple seeds in one cell. I just put one seed per cell. And also I'm always multi-sowing, so I don't need to overfill these cells with seeds. I'm just putting one. If they don't come up in a few weeks, I'll put another seed in there and let it come up. And then after I drop the seeds, I don't know if you can see it, I drop the seed just in the center here, and then all I'm going to do is sprinkle a little vermiculite on top of that seed to cover it up. Borage seeds need darkness and warmth to germinate. They don't need light, so I just cover it up with a little sprinkle of vermiculite. And then after I've covered them up with vermiculite, I have my little watering can here. This was a recent upgrade this year. I have a hand pump one just because I'm doing so much seeds. It makes it easier. And then all I do is spritz it so that the top is moist. And the seed starting mix that's already in the tray is already wet. So this was wet when I put it in, or moist when I put it in the cells, so it's not dry. So the bottom is dry, and then I put dry vermiculite on top, and I just spritz it so the top and the bottom are both moist, and so the seed in between has moisture on it. And that's it. And then I'm gonna sit this tray just on my shelf in my room. It's a south-facing window. Borage is a spring, it's a cool weather flower, so you don't need a heat mat. You don't need humidity domes. It doesn't need heat. So as long as your home or wherever you're putting this is above, I'd say like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you don't need to heat it. It doesn't need any heat. If anything, the heat is going to slow down germination because these plants that I'm sowing like cool weather. They don't like hot weather. So you don't need a fancy setup. I'm literally sitting this on top of a shelf in front of a window. And that's it. All I'm going to do is check it every day and make sure that the top of the top stays moist. If it starts drying out, I just give it a little spritz to keep top of it moist until the seeds germinate. And that's it. It usually takes like a week for these to germinate. Not hard at all. Drop some seeds, keep it moist. I don't light it. None of that. There are some things you'll see later if you're follow along here. I'm going to be starting my summer plants in a little bit. Those do need a little babying because the current climate that I'm planting them in is not the climate they like to grow in. For example, eggplants and peppers and tomatoes, those are warm weather crops. So those I will need to use heat mats and lights and to try to simulate the summer situation. But right now, the stuff I'm starting is early spring, fall type plants. Like I So they will grow just fine. Oh, and that's it. So I'm going to show you, I just want you to see what the calendula seeds look like. Interesting. I just had calendula in my tea yesterday. Actually, it's really good as a medicinal. See those? Can you? There it goes. These are calendula seeds. I always think these are funniest looking seeds. They look like, I don't know, little dried worms. But they come up as pretty flowers. They're like yellow and orange. And like I said, the pollinators like them and they're great for medicinal. And again, they're also edible flowers. So those are great. The other thing I wanted to show you guys that I'm going to start today, because we are just going to keep sewing. These are obviously toilet paper rolls. I wanted to show you, again, you can really plant anything, plant in anything. You do not need to buy biodegradable pots for planting. You can just use paper towel rolls, toilet paper rolls, and then this is a little container that I got when I bought mushrooms from the store. And I just saved it. So this is going to be my little bottom dish. The other thing that I'm going to sew today that I actually prepared yesterday, because these need to soak. These are sweet pea flowers. Oops. And sweet peas are another potentially edible flower if you like to eat them, but I really just grow these for the flowers. The pollinators love them and they smell delicious. I'm sure you've gone to the store or Bath and Body Works or whatever, and they have all those perfumes that are sweet pea. That's after this actual plant. It smells delicious. They're so pretty. The flowers are really delicate. It's a climbing plant. I went outside yesterday and I saw that the squirrels had dug up where I had planted these last week. So the seeds may still be in there, but anyway, just in case, I'm going to plant some more because we're just going to keep sowing. And I'm putting them in biodegradable pots this time, just so I can just plant this whole toilet paper roll. I'm putting 2 seeds per toilet paper roll. Legumes, the plants in the pea family, have really deep tap roots, so this long, growing space is really good for them. All I did was put my seed starting mix into this toilet paper roll, and then I'm just going to drop 2 seeds in it per roll, because I'm dropping these, this whole toilet paper roll, I'm going to put into a 5-gallon pot. Once it starts to germinate, I'm just going to plant this whole thing, and the toilet paper roll will break down. It's a natural product, so it's not going to stay like this. It'll break down in the soil over time. So I will just plant this whole thing. And again, I'll go live every day, so I'll show y'all what these start looking like once they start germinating, popping up, so you can see it. But all I'm doing is putting 2 seeds, 1 on either side of these toilet paper rolls. Trying to grab these other seeds. Boop, boop. I'm just dropping those 2 in, 1 on either side. And then I'm just going to cover it up with vermiculite. Same thing. These should germinate in less than a week usually. These are also cool weather plants, so they'll start dying out once it gets too hot. But because they're cool weather plants, I don't need a heat mat, I don't need a humidity dome, I don't need any of that. I'm just gonna put these same spot in front of my little window and let them do their thing. I'm gonna get a little water. You have to be careful with the toilet paper rolls with watering, because if it gets too soggy, they start falling apart. But it just needs to be a little bit moist on the top. So I'm just moistening the top of it. Again, I had these seeds soaking for 24 hours, so the seeds themselves are plenty moist. So that's it. And I'm going to set this whole little container just in front of the window and wait for them to start popping up. And I'll show y'all as they progress over the next couple of weeks what they're looking like. And then once these have started developing and they're growing out of the tube, I'm just going to dig a hole in my 5-gallon pots in the backyard here at my townhouse and pop these in the ground. I don't have to dig it out. I don't have to separate them. None of it. I'm just going to plant this whole toilet paper roll. This is what a biodegradable pot looks like. You don't have to buy biodegradable pots. Save your toilet paper rolls. I had my neighbors saving some of theirs last year when I was doing this. They gave me their paper towel rolls. They gave me the toilet paper rolls so I can do a bunch of things that don't like their roots disturbed in them. And so I had a whole bunch last year. But this is it. They're gonna go in a windowsill, and they'll be popping up in like a week. And I will keep y'all posted on what they look like. I'm actually gonna walk these over now. I hope that shows you just how easy it is. If you are in, I'm growing in Georgia, zone 8B. If you are in a temperate climate like me, somewhere where you have winter, but it's not like you're not in a frozen tundra, you're not growing in Alaska or whatever, you can still grow something. So don't let just because you can't start it outside doesn't mean you can't be growing. You can and should be growing something. So I'll tell you just kind of what I'm growing right now for the cool weather. Actually, I'll show you. Oh, you can see it's raining now. So cilantro is another cool weather crop. You could still drop that. We have, if you're in a temperate climate, again, I'm in Georgia 8B, we still have at least 5 weeks of winter. So you could still drop seeds for cilantro, plenty of time. Broadleaf sage, this is actually a perennial. You still have time to drop these. Parsley, plenty of time to drop parsley seeds. Like we just saw, sweet pea flowers, you've got time on those. This is another succession sowing of the same thing that I grew here because, again, we're always sowing things. These are a few weeks ahead of these cups because there's actually no germination yet on these. But this is parsley. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. I spoke too soon. Something's coming up. Hey, what is that? Let's see. I labeled it. Cilantro. That's my first germination in my second round of cilantro. So eventually, this little thing is gonna look like this. And then this is gonna be even bigger in a few weeks. It just takes time. Nature takes time. Oh wait, look at this. Oh, I don't even know if y'all can see these little, maybe they're so small you can't even see. But this is garlic chives. I can see garlic chives coming up, like right here. Like I said, I sowed these a few weeks ago. It takes time, which is why you gotta start and always be sowing. Oh, I see some garlic chives germinating here also. Yes, got some chives coming up. Awesome. Okay, so garlic chives you could still do. Parsley, cilantro you could still do. Nasturtium, you definitely have time. An edible flower. Calendula, another edible flower and medicinal that you still have time for. Borage. Bulb onions, short day. This is a Granix onion that I started here. These are bulbing yellow onions. You still have time to plant these. And then this is, I don't know what this is. Oh, another sowing. This is the succession sowing container I did yesterday of nasturtium. This is also going to be available on my plant sale because most of these cups are for my farm. Because I like to multi-sow because it's easier. But I know some people find that challenging to separate them. So I'm going to be selling plant plugs in the spring. So these are going to be for the sale. And then the trays that I'm doing right now that I just showed you all, those are also going to be for the sale. And those are going to go right on that table next to here. So if you haven't started anything, today's February 15th. You still have time. If you're in the South, anywhere, even if you're not in the South, you still have time. So I say drop some seeds. We got to be doing something every day for our self-reliance. And sowing seeds is an easy way to do that. You can get seeds from your local big box store. You can order them online. Even if you just start with just an herb, try one thing, get your confidence up, and then start planting some more stuff. As you can see, I just showed you, it's not hard. It's time consuming. I'm going to drop one seed into every one of these cells, 144 cells. So it's going to take me time, but it's in no way complicated or difficult. So you can do it. You can and should do it. If you don't need the food, maybe your neighbor does, maybe your family does, maybe your church, I don't know. I'm sure someone would appreciate whatever you'd be willing to grow. So drop some seeds today, y'all. Remember, you can't grow all the food that people need, but the people need all the food you can grow. So try to grow something for yourself and for others. All right, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to get to filling out all these cell trays because this is going to take me a while. I hope you'll have a beautiful rest of the day. I hope you drop some seeds. Be sure to tell me what you're starting. I would love to hear what you're going to get started for this week to grow so you can eat some food, grow your groceries. Let's go. Y'all have a great one. I'll see you tomorrow.